Hey everybody, it's Charlie. It's August 31st. And I want to point out just how disgusting our political parties are in this country. First of all, let me just say that to keep you up to speed on this Federal Reserve court ruling, that today they were supposed to turn over their records, and they did not because the Judge Preska, has given them a deadline now of the end of September. I'll attach a story with this video so you can read why. Basically, they're, in my opinion, employing their tactic of economic terrorism again. Their spokesman came out and said that if these records are turned over, they want to appeal it, because if these records are turned over, the ability to effectively manage the current and future financial crisis would be impaired. Well, first of all, I thought the current crisis was behind us, or we're on the road to recovery. So, and since we are on the road to recovery, what the hell difference is it going to make if we know who got what? All right. So, and the other thing they said in it is, if they turn these over, it could significantly harm, could befall the U.S. economy. So, I don't know what else you call that. That's like me calling up somebody and saying, if you don't come over and give me $100, your car might blow up tomorrow. What is that? That's illegal, I'm pretty sure. Any rate, back to my disgusting political party deal. I spent the day driving, switching between left talk radio and right talk radio. They both make me sick, but they can kind of balance each other out if I listen to one for a while and then to the other. But on the right, I was listening to a John Gibson show, and the man makes me insane because he's pointing out that the Democrats or the left are using the CIA torture investigations as a smokescreen to the failed health reform activity going on, and I agree with that 100%. But then he wants to get into debates with people on how it's okay to torture people as long as they're not Americans, and the ends justify the means, which is that is the most moronic thing. That first of all, my stance on it is, if the State Department authorized the CIA to torture people, and the CIA then tortured them because the State Department authorized it, then they weren't breaking a law. They went to their lawyers and they got clearance on it. So whatever. But for John Gibson or any other, because he's not the only one, but for any other person on the right to get out there and say that how do you justify walking up to somebody and racking a gun next to them, threatening to kill them? How do you justify going up to somebody and running a power drill next to them, threatening to drill a hole in them, or even threatening to murder somebody, do a mock execution on somebody, so they think that they're next if they don't start spilling the beans? What the hell? What kind of savages are we? What are we becoming? To me, that is 180 degrees opposite of what this country stands for, and I don't want any part of it. I don't want anybody getting any information on my behalf by threatening to drill a hole in your head. What a bunch of savages we've become. And I understand, I'm not naive. I understand that throughout the history of the world, very savage things have been done to garner information to us. That doesn't make it right. How do you legitimize this kind of activity? How do you, and how on earth could that information be accurate or valuable? I guarantee you, you put my head in a vice, and you're going to get to hear whatever the hell you want to hear. You waterboard me 158 times, you're probably going to get the answer you want to hear. I don't know, whatever. That made me ill, listening to him defend torture, because it's against our Constitution. and it is our Constitution, and these people are not American citizens. But just like we believe freedom is a gift from God, I think we also have to believe that human rights are a gift from God that belong to everybody, and not just Americans. So I don't want to get off on a soapbox on that, but as a former member of the military, as a veteran of the Gulf War, and I have a brother who's received 2 Purple Hearts in the current wars for oil. The idea of us torturing somebody terrifies me, because these guys that are over there, George Washington during the Revolutionary War had told his troops, give these soldiers nothing to complain about, these prisoners. And there was a reason for that, because you want to either make converts out of the people you have in your custody, or when they do go back home, they're not used as propaganda to create more terrorism. So anyway, that's on the right. Okay, and on the left, how they made me sick today was I was listening to excerpts of Ted Kennedy's eulogy, or his ceremony, and they have an 11-year-old kid, and I'm going to try to find the video and connect it to this one, an 11-year-old grandson of his. They're just pimping out. He's up there with a pre-written speech hitting the bullet points of healthcare reform. And it made me sick, because here you have a guy who, good or bad, I think, as far as his record in the Senate, but his whole life is now boiled down to a piece of propaganda, and then they're going to pimp out an 11-year-old relative to try to sell this point. These people have no shame. They have no desire other than fulfilling their own ideological endeavors. And they could give a crap who they use or who they hurt on both sides of the equation. There is, as I've said before, I think in the big picture, there's no difference between the left and the right. They just go about, they just like pulling you into one side or the other. Either you want to join the right because you're getting your patriotic nerves struck by them saying, yeah, it's okay to torture people as long as we're saving American lives, or they pull on your sense of morality by saying, well, everybody needs to be covered under health care. But it's all designed just to suck you into one side or the other and keep you blind, so they can continue to rob and loot this country of its wealth. That's enough heavy stuff for Monday. That's all I got.